Welcome to our first ever, as far as I know, how long have you been here teaching DOI? Can you think of a time we've ever had an orientation like this? After parents were, sometimes we've had an information meeting when the program was first started, because people didn't know much about it. But we've invited you to learn what the program's actually going to look like now that you're in it. And this is the first time we've done it in 18 years, so hopefully you'll have a little patience with us as we're figuring this out. What we do know for sure is we will never do this in May again. We have so much going on at the school, so next year we will do it in April. But thank you for coming. I don't look like the principal because I've been on field trips today and we've been having ice cream parties today. But I am the principal. I normally wear a tie. My name is Brett Bodden. And I'm just curious before we start, how many of you are brand new to William Penn? I know some people, wow! Oh my goodness, welcome. Thank you so much. We're so excited to have you here. Okay, I have another question for you. How many of you, your students, are starting the program for the first time, but they're getting it second week? A couple of you here. Awesome, welcome, welcome. Okay. Did you get a call, we can talk afterwards, about our summer boot camp? Just want to make sure you know about our summer boot camp. Awesome, great. Okay. And how many of you have students currently at the school at William Penn? Thank you. Thank you, welcome, welcome. All right, so let me show you what we're going to talk about for the next half hour, however long kids do their thing. Clicker doesn't seem to want to work. I'm going to kind of step here so I can see. Okay. Oh, before I do anything, I tell you the outline for the day, I want to make sure everyone knows that this is a general education program. It's not a gifted program of any kind. Anyone can participate. And it is good for kids who are gifted because it does move at a faster pace. But anyone can participate, and this is a state program, and the state kind of sets the guidelines for how these things exist, because we do have to modify the curriculum a little bit. And what I mean by that is mostly just the time spent in curriculum. Since we have to find time to have Spanish language arts, that cuts into English language arts a little bit. But there's a lot of crossover, you know. One of the things kids have to learn starting in second grade is what's the main idea of a story. Well, that's a standard. It doesn't matter what language you're learning it in. But our phonetics and alphabets, those are different. So we do have to take some time from English language arts, but it's a general education curriculum. And our students can do super hard things, including the first day of school when you drop them off and they're not going to hear a lick of Spanish for half of or a lick of English for half of their day. Then they will come home all smiles. They might go in a little scared, but hopefully this orientation helps. Okay, here's what we're going to talk about with you guys here. Oh, I didn't know I was going to do my 3 daughters story now. Okay, I'm going to do my 3 daughters story. Okay, so speaking of dropping kids off, this little red dot doesn't seem to be working, but that girl in the middle with the red in her hair, that is my daughter when she was in kindergarten. She's turning 21 this summer. I know, scary, right? So it comes faster than you think. No, sorry, this is her in first grade. And all 3 of my daughters went to a Granite School District dual immersion program. They learned French. And I just remember dropping her off that day and being like, this is the craziest thing ever. How is she going to learn this? We had an incredible experience, and I know you can have an incredible experience too. We were able to host a French teacher that's lived with us for a year as part of the program. And then my daughters get to pick where they want to go when they graduate from high school. And this last summer, one of my daughters wanted to go to Montreal, because they speak French there, so that's us this summer in Montreal. And these programs, I mean, you already know this, or you would have enrolled in the program, just open so many incredible opportunities, and I just wanted to share a personal anecdote. It's been a wonderful journey for my family, and in my time here at William Penn, I've seen our teachers do amazing things, and our students learn the language so quickly, but they learn more than just the language, and that's what we're going to talk about tonight. We are going to talk about today we will learn. Okay, what to expect in year 1, where to find some parent resources, how we celebrate Spanish culture, and that's what I was alluding to a minute ago, where we don't just teach the Spanish language, we teach the Spanish culture as well. And what students can achieve during the program. And what I mean by that is we're looking at the long game here, what happens in terms of when they're in high school, and because there's college credits and those sort of things they can get. So we want to paint the picture for you of where this program goes in the junior high and high school, even though that may seem far away. Remember my picture of my kindergarten, it's not. And then we'll have some time for some question and answers. So, I've got some helpers here today. Let's see, I have got Francisco Diaz. He's our fourth grade Spanish teacher next year. I've got Angela Rivas. She is our fourth grade and third grade Spanish teacher this year. Mindy Graham is our third grade Spanish teacher. And Heidi Ceballos is our district immersion coordinator. And each of them are going to be talking about one of these topics today. So I'm going to turn the time over to, oh my gosh, I made this slideshow a long time ago. Okay. Want to make sure you know what our goals are for this program. Some of the subjects are taught, some of the core subjects are taught in Spanish. In grades 1, 2, and 3, math is actually taught in Spanish. So we strive to make sure our students achieve high academics, not just in the Spanish language, but in math and all those sorts of things. We want them to be proficient in both languages and prepare them for all these amazing cross-cultural experiences they're going to have by understanding different cultures and being able to speak another language. There are so many benefits to this program. If you do any research online, hopefully you've seen that. There's amazing cognitive benefits when the brain learns two languages. We find that it actually learns English better than people who aren't learning two languages. Sometimes those outcomes with English are a little slower, not for every child, but when they are learning two languages, there's sometimes a curve to catch up to their other peers. Not always, though. We strongly believe this is going to put them in a good advantage economically for jobs. I bet, I always wish I had Spanish on my resume. And then this is such a big one for us, social awareness and positive attitudes towards people. We truly believe at this school in just being kind to everyone, regardless of what they look like or where they come from or what language they speak. And this is a great way to introduce that to our kids, that people speak and sound differently, and sometimes act differently. I'll be honest, some of our teachers are native to their Spanish countries, and they have different perspectives on what education looks like there. It's advantageous for our students to learn that and experience those kinds of things as well. Yes? Yeah, sure.
So when we started this program years ago, we were actually a designated refugee school as well. So we had a lot of kids coming in that were already speaking foreign languages. And before the program started, there was kind of this separation between English and our refugee kids. And as the program kind of went on, we noticed that the kids that were in immersion were helping the kids who were coming from foreign countries because they had an empathy of how hard it is to learn a second language, and they were helping each other learn both languages. And there was this wonderful, symbiotic relationship between those that were coming from foreign countries to learn English and our kids that were here already learning Spanish, and everybody was kind of helping each other. And there was so much empathy, and they were so kind to each other, which hadn't been the case as much beforehand. There was a little bit more of a dad vibe, like I don't really identify with you. English is easy. Why is this hard for you? But then after a couple of weeks of immersion, that shifted very much so. It was really awesome.
And this quote speaks to what you just said. Thank you for sharing. I actually didn't know that story. That's beautiful. It really is all about connecting with people, teaching different perspectives, creating bridges of communication and understanding. You can read the full quote on your own, but we love those outcomes for our kids. Okay, there better not be another slide for me. All right, Miss Rivas.
Hi everyone, thank you for coming. I will show you the first grade student proficiency report. This is for speaking, listening, reading, and writing at the end of the first grade. Some students don't get the goal, but it's okay because it's first grade. They will not speak a native Spanish speaker. I will show you. You will see this page in the first conference or second conference in order to know what the student will get in Spanish. For listening, the student will understand predictable questions, statements, and common in family topics areas, requiring a slower than normal rate of speech or with repetition. Some simple words at the end they will able to speak sentences. Don't worry, they will not speak like me in Spanish, okay? It's a process. Yeah. In speaking, the student use single words, multiply words, short phrases, grading, polite expression, and other memorized expression. Frequently searching for words in common, may use native language or gesture. Memorize expression with verbs and other short phrases are usually accurate, but inaccuracy when trying to produce language beyond the scope of memorized material. And reading, able to recognize the letter or symbol, numbers, and can identify a number of highly contextualized words or phrases, including tornado and borrowed words. In writing, write a modest number of words or phrases in contents. Can supply limited information or simple form and document. And more things like this. The teacher will teach science, math, and social studies in Spanish. Don't worry the first 2 weeks. Maybe they feel overwhelmed. They will get it at the long year. And they will improve in second year, third grade, fourth. When they can in middle school, they can continue to learn Spanish, and they will take another test. The program uses a UNITA book. This is for phonetics and Spanish. And at the end of the year, maybe April or May, the teacher make a test. How pronounce or how to read. I invited to you to support your child at home. Don't feel overwhelmed because they are starting to learn Spanish. It's okay if they don't speak like other kids. It's okay. We have amazing teacher in first grade, and we need support at home. Ms. Brand will talk about that. And welcome to this program, and enjoy this year with them. And also you can speak at home in Spanish and learn with them. If you don't learn Spanish, you will learn with them. Thank you.
Use the mic. You're recording.
You're recording?
Yes, we're recording. Yes, we're recording.
Oh wow, we're recording. Good to know. I guess I'm using a mic. Again, I'm Ms. Brown. Hi. I have been at Penn since the inception of this program. I missed the very first year. I'm using a mic. So I have had a long time to watch this program develop and change and grow in lots of things. So a couple things. Last fall, or again, the beginning of this year, I had my neighbor come to me because I actually live in the neighborhood, and she was really concerned about her first grader. Her first grader was crying, her first grader was nervous about being in Spanish, and she was telling me all the things. About a week later, my niece, who has a first grader in Riverton in a dual immersion Spanish program, also came to me and asked me almost the exact same questions. And this is not the first time I've been asked these questions. What do I do when my kid is anxious? What do I do when they come home crying? Do I take them out of the program? What's going on? So here is my spiel that I gave to my niece and my neighbor within a week of each other, as well as my own family members who have gone through dual immersion that I actually got to teach, which was pretty awesome. So what to expect? Tears. Expect tears. They're going to come home, it's unknown, and that is okay. They can do hard things. Now, they're probably not going to cry every day, but you will have tears in the first several weeks. I have third graders that still come and cry because it's new and it's hard, and they forget things over the summer. It's okay. I need you to be their cheering squad. I need you to tell them, you are so brave, you are so strong, you can do this, because they can. If you put fear into them, they're going to want to quit. So my plea to you as parents is be their cheering squad. Tell them that they can do it. Now to help them do that, okay, you may hear them being very shy at first. Well, they don't know a lot yet. It's okay. If they know a few songs and a few words, we're doing awesome. Ms. Zayat is going to give every kid a folder that looks like this. It has some of the syllables
and the letters and simple words. It has things that are going to come home, kind of the standards that she's going to work on all year with them. Go through it with your kids. This goes back and forth to class and home every day for seniorities age. There are also, she's going to send these home, simple phrases that you can work on with them at home, so that they have some words to get started, and it's okay if they don't know them all, but just work on it with them. Another suggestion I have, label. If you don't have a label maker, maybe buy one or print some out on a piece of paper, or even masking tape with labels. Label everything. Label things so that they know common words and they feel like, oh, mom and dad are learning Spanish. I can do this. The kids that have parents that go home and make that kind of effort are the ones that get really excited to be in class. The ones that have parents that are like, oh no, this is scary, do I pull you out? You can feel that. Your feelings are totally valid, just don't tell your child. Okay? Be their, like I said, be their cheer team. Let them know that they are brave and they are confident and that they can do these hard things. I see so much growth every year. It is amazing to me to watch kids come in and be so nervous and then leave the year being totally confident, ready to go. Now, what confidence in first grade looks like versus what confidence in third grade looks like is a little different. Okay, my third graders, usually at the end of the year, most of them can have full conversations with me. I don't speak in English in my day. I know I speak English right now, but normally in my day I don't. It takes time. Be patient, but also cheer them on every step of the way. Okay, so a couple of other things. Children learn language naturally. They're going to search for words that they already know in English. They're going to search for them in Spanish. There will come a point where they're not searching for the words in Spanish anymore because they're kind of assimilating them, and that's okay. That's what they should be doing. That's what they do in their native language. You don't tell them all the words all the time. They kind of figure them out. It's okay to talk around a word and figure it out. Mixing languages is totally normal too. In those first several years, they're going to speak Spanglish really, really well. There's going to be all sorts of weird things going on. I still have some kids that will come up and say something, and I'm like, hold on just a second. Oh, that's what you're saying. Because I have to kind of dissect which language are they talking to me in. And that's totally normal and to be expected. By about the end of third grade, that kind of mellows out, where they don't have so much of the Spanglish going on. But in those first couple of years, that's totally normal. It's to be expected. And celebrate that they're learning new words. Okay? Ways to help your kid at home, like I said, labels around the house are fabulous. Other things, learn with them. If you don't speak Spanish, it's okay. Learn some words. Even if you only know like 5 words, they will be so excited that they know more than you. They're going to be thrilled that they're smarter than mom and dad. Don't tell them they're not actually smarter, but let them take it from you. Some books, I would go bilingual books for the first couple of years. By third grade, they don't need bilingual books anymore. They can do it just in Spanish. Music, let them listen to Latin music. Let them listen to music from Spain. Let them listen to music from anywhere that has Spanish speakers in it. It's great. Videos, this is a good one. If they have a favorite movie, turn on the English subtitles and let them listen to it in Spanish. Then they get reading and Spanish. It's kind of mean, but they can do it. Or just turn on the Spanish. All Disney movies, most movies come with Spanish options at this point. You just have to go through it through your settings. So if you're already familiar with the book or with the video, pick a Spanish book for them. Pick a Spanish movie for them that they already, pick a movie that they already know and put it in Spanish. They'll just assimilate new words. They're like sponges. They're going to just get new words from it, and it will happen a lot quicker than you realize. The biggest thing I can say, though, is please celebrate bilingualism. It's an amazing thing. I am so grateful that I have learned a second language. I didn't learn it until I was a little bit older. My parents don't speak Spanish. My parents don't speak anything other than English. And several of my siblings have learned Spanish, and it's so fun that now, as siblings, we get to talk together. And now, as my nieces and nephews have gone through this program, they're traveling the world speaking Spanish. I have a niece that's going on a study abroad who was a third grader, went all the way through to Immersion. She's going on study abroad to Spain in September. So it's an amazing experience. It will be hard the first bit, but they will learn so much. And like I said, please be their cheering squad. They need it, and if you need help, come talk to me. I'll be your cheering squad. But it's going to be an amazing year. So thank you. Good luck.
Graham was talking about parent resources, I wanted to just quickly show one more parent resource. This is the state website for parents for DLI programs. It's https://www.utah.dli.org. When you get there, the first thing you'll actually have to do is pick your language. So there's a drop-down menu, find the Spanish one, and then click on the parents. Within that parents one, there's different resources. I really liked this page because Mindy gave you a lot of things you can do in Spanish to support your kids, which is great, but that's not the only way to promote literacy. A lot of these things that the state's recommending you do are just doing them in English. They're simple things like reading with your kids every day, emphasizing the value of learning another language, helping them cultivate good study habits. So these are things you can do if you don't know another language that really do help them support learning Spanish, because language is language. So next up we have Mr. Diaz.
Hi everyone, I'm Mr. Diaz. In my case, I feel like I have the kids from 4 and 5th grade, and that's, I don't want to say CC, but the kids are already come prepared with certain level of understanding of the language. I can talk about the speaking, the cultural part of the Spanish program, which is good too, because as a teacher, we like to incorporate cultural things in our classroom. For example, in my case, I love to travel, and that's another part to include in my curriculum too, the experience of traveling and that cultural appreciation. So, the students learning Spanish, they're speaking, writing, and reading in Spanish. So that's an important part for us in the classroom. Then all the time in that whole part they are with us, they always use those components of the program. It's very important to us. For me, one of the most challenging parts probably sometimes, the parents sometimes get confused of what type of Spanish my kid is learning in the classroom. And all the time when that happens, I always try to say, then Spanish is a language, and you have different teachers from different backgrounds that bring something unique to your kid in the classroom. So that's probably one of the most important parts. So everybody here probably have different backgrounds, and always we incorporate that in events, cultural events, then we relate with the curriculum all the time. So for example, in this case, I have certain picture of Dia de los Muertos, activities, try to incorporate some dance, sometimes sharing a meal or cooking something from another country. Try to relate the cultural part with all these countries is very important for us. So sometimes in the program we have teachers from Spain, from Peru, from Mexico, from Venezuela. We have a couple here from Venezuela. And all these are important cultural backgrounds that we bring to a classroom and try to incorporate every time in our daily basis, basically. So for me, that important is that it's just a cultural appreciation of the program and incorporate that in a classroom in a daily basis. Because when they learn about another culture, they always try to ask questions and educate as a community too in their own parents. So try to bring that cultural part in the classroom, but at the same time at home is very important. So that is a good support from home and we can take it. So it's all the time I say this is a dialogue between two cultural things, and try to incorporate the community. That is always an important part for us. So for example, in Dia de los Muertos, we always bring parents as a visitors, and they can see their kids' projects and things. And for me, that is probably the most valuable part of combined education, the educational part of the program. So yeah, so we're ready for your kids, and any question you have, we are more than welcome to answer, okay? Thank you so much.
Our amazing district coordinator, I failed to give her the slide in time for her to put her picture up there, but she's such a wealth of knowledge. She doesn't need a slide. She's going to tell you about the future of the program, what the kids' future looks like as far as their education beyond elementary school. Can you touch on to what happens in 4th and 5th grade with the curriculum switch between math?
Okay, my name is Heidi Ceballos, and I taught 17 years in Granite District. I taught 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grade Immersion, and I
Before anything, I just need to say that the teachers here at William Penn are phenomenal. They are amazing at giving the supports to set up your students for success, to be able to speak the language, and also pushing them to be able to meet those high goals. And they blew me away when I came the first time last fall. They're just amazing. I wonder, how many of you took a foreign language in junior high or high school? And how many of you still use that language very frequently? Yeah, unfortunately, it's not as common to be able to when you're taking it in junior high and high school. I think there are things that are changing that are making it a little better. Typically, if in those secondary classes, by year 4, those students are speaking at an intermediate low level. Now you saw on Ms. Rivas share, novice mid is the first level for first grade. We have novice, intermediate, and advanced, and then low, medium, high in each of those levels, so there's about 9 levels. So by year 4 in high school, they're about an intermediate low level. Now in our dual immersion, our 4th and 5th grade students are already getting to that level. It's amazing. Now, when you're thinking about being bilingual, I don't want you to think of it as like a light switch, like you know the language suddenly or you don't. It's more of like a staircase. And they are building that knowledge, that vocabulary, all the different things from different cultures, and it's going to take time. So if they're getting that in 4th and 5th grade, it's amazing, but we want them to be able to continue. And so that's what I'm going to talk about. In junior high, they can continue on with the program, and there are 3 years of courses. It's DLI 2, 3, 4, and then in 9th grade, they take the AP class. The 2, 3, 4 in the junior high, it's a Spanish class, and then they also take what is called media, history, and culture class. And so they have 2 classes in Spanish. And then by 9th grade, they are taking that AP test that many students don't take until 12th grade. Once they pass that, and they go into high school, they continue, and they are in now a program called Bridge, where they have a university professor working with a high school teacher to give concurrent enrollment classes. And it is amazing, they are getting credits. They are just a few credits shy, by the time they graduate, to have a minor in Spanish. And many students, as they continue, they double major in whatever they're studying, and then also in Spanish. I have students that told me that they're majoring in engineering and in Spanish so that they can be going to, be an engineer in another country. It's incredible. And by the time they finish that last class in 12th grade, the goal for them, for their language, is advanced mid. And that is, just for reference, that is what our dual immersion teachers have to be able to teach. And so they are at the fully fluent level. They're able to talk about the world around them, advanced topics, past, present, future, all of those things being interwoven between all those. So it's really amazing to be able to continue on. And another part that is very cool is they are able to take a test to be able to put a seal of biliteracy on their diploma. Now, all of you that raised your hand when you took that class, how many of you put that on a resume or something? Were you able to tell your boss, oh, I took 3 years of this class in junior high? Not so much really, right? Well, the seal of biliteracy test, it's on their diploma, and it tells what their actual proficiency level is. So they are able to say, I am at an advanced mid level in this language, and they can use that and share that with employers, share that with colleges, all those things, to let them know that this is my actual proficiency in this language that I can be using. Another thing that's also amazing about the concurrent enrollment is that studies show that any student that takes a concurrent class in high school, it doubles their likelihood of continuing on with higher education. So it's a great opener for them to be able to keep going through college and other things. So I hope that you are able to enjoy the program in elementary and also have that vision of continuing up on that staircase for them to really become fully bilingual, bicultural, and fluent in Spanish.
We're not going to do that in dance yet. We're going to take some questions and answers. But before we do, I love everything that's been said. And thank you all so much. Give them another round of applause. Thank you. Thank you for coming. I did want, and I wanted to go back to the very first thing I said, that this is a general education program. That said, and I don't want to be a Debbie Downer because we're all super excited right now, all these amazing things, but we do see about 10% of our students leave the program by about third grade. And the reasons for that are myriad, and a lot of times it's just people moving. They had a job come up, they just had to leave the state or something like that. But there are a handful that usually by the end of second grade say, for one reason or another, hey, is this, they ask the question that they asked Mindy, is this right for me? I would just encourage you to wait until the end of second grade before you start asking that question if you find yourself in that situation, and hopefully none of you do, but if you do, reach out to us. We'll help you look at the data and help you compare how your student's doing to someone else, the other kids in the class, so you can make an informed decision. And we'll be your consultants at that point if that ever happens. So, and we will do everything we can to try to encourage and support them. But if you do need to leave the program, that's okay too. At the end of second grade, we understand that happens from time to time. So, just had to say that for the record. But we're going to open up the question and answers until the kids come back. So, do you guys have any questions? I should not be the one answering these. I had to get up there and help me with this. Maybe we don't have questions. Okay, yes.
What is the likelihood of the program this summer happening for the kids that are already in first grade?
Which program are you talking about? Oh, the ones that haven't taken. Well, we had originally asked. We originally sent an email to gauge interest for that. Weren't getting many responses, so I had the secretary call each of you today. She just did that today, and I have not been able to debrief with her on how many people she was able to get a hold of. We only invited about 14 people. And if we can get at least half of those to come 10 of the days, we'll run the program. And it's, your kids, we have plenty of kids that start in second grade that have never had a summer boot camp before. It's usually because we only have one or two start in second grade per year. We have quite a big, you have much to add to this, I'm sure. We have a much bigger group this year. We have 14 that we extended that opportunity to. So we thought we'd take advantage of that opportunity and, if possible, use some funding to provide a boot camp. But it's not critical. So we hope it happens. And yes, we're shooting for about 7 at least. And I'll be able to make that decision at the early in June here, next week or two.
I often don't know who started in first grade and who started in second grade by the time they come to third. So if they start in second, I can't usually tell. It depends on the kids. So don't panic. They do great.
We think the boot camp will be really cool though, just to ease their anxiety. It's really more about that than them actually learning a ton of Spanish. So, yes?
How many kindergarten DLI classes, first grade
First
DLI
grade.
classes we
I
have?
am super excited to announce that for 18 years we've had 2 classes with 32 kids in it each. This is the first year we're going to have 3 classes with 25 in it each. So, yes?
I barely know English.
Yeah.
So how do I learn, what is the best recommendation you have for parents trying to learn Spanish with them? Right? Do I take a class? Do I?
Good question. You guys come up and share that.
Duolingo?
So-
Yes, different turnout.
Duolingo and those apps and things are great. They move kind of at a slow pace. If you could read bilingual books with your child and just do the best you can, the phonetics they're not super hard. So if you can read it, read the English portion and then read the Spanish portion, it's okay if you kind of mess up how it sounds. Your child will probably correct you as they go on. But those bilingual books are helpful. Duolingo, what else?
For me, this is the different, everyone have a different pattern for the learning of language, right? So normalize the bilingual culture is an important part. It means there is some kids that learn while they're watching movies with subtitles. There is kids who learn with music. There is kids who learn just conversational, talk with a girlfriend or have a little conversation with somebody during the day. after school too. So it's just, for me, each parent is so different because each families have different ways to engage the language. But for me, one of the most important things I discovered is just engaging the language at home is a very important part. Some kids, when they have parents who support the language, doesn't matter if it's in a big, small, or different scale, that is a very good way to start. So what Mrs. Graham said, label things, ask them to, doesn't matter if you don't understand the language, tell them to explain a story they read in a class. Each sense they can add something to the help they receive at the school for me is an important
And like picture books, so first graders are picture book level readers, right? So if you get a picture book that's bilingual, it might have 2 or 3 sentences in Spanish and 2 or 3 sentences in English on any given page. Just go at it slowly, and just little by little, you'll pick it up. And it's okay if you don't understand everything. Context clues will help a lot.
Is there a good place to find those
Library.
books? Just the
The
library.
library is amazing. Our Mill Creek Library has actually a pretty big Spanish section, and I don't know how many books you can check out from there. I do know the Salt Lake City Library, you can check out like 100 books for up to like 3 months. Don't lose your receipt, don't lose your books, or you're gonna have a really hefty fine. That's a bad idea. But you can check out quite a few books at a time. I know there are lots of parents that will go and get 10 books at a time every couple of weeks. We are also having a summer library here on Wednesdays from 1 to 4. You can come and check out our library. We have Spanish library books here. So however you can get them, I would not pay money because your kid's gonna fly through the books.
I've already wanted that one.
Yeah, don't buy tons and tons of books because they'll last you a minute and a half and then you're spending time on it. So lots and lots of library books.
And for upper grades, the parents always ask that question, and I always give them a list of recommendations. So don't be afraid to ask the teachers for information because I'm sure they're going to provide
And
ideas.
the libraries actually have grade level lists.
Yes.
In English, I think you can have one in Spanish if I'm remembering correctly. So you can kind of see what books are appropriate for your child's grade levels. If you're picking a Spanish book when they get a little older, maybe pick it 1 grade level below because they're going to learn the second language a little slower when they're reading, but not I would, if they're in 3rd grade, I wouldn't give them 1st grade books. So just probably one off. Yeah, so kindergarten right now until they get done with 1st.
The Mill Creek librarian was here the other day, and she showed me these kits. They come in these little plastic packets, and it's a little device, and it's not a screen, and it can only do one thing. But the kids, there's different programs. There's math ones, and I think there's language ones. And you can check these things out, and they'll talk to the kids, and the kids can talk back to it, but it doesn't have a screen, but it's interactive, and it kind of adapts to the kid. Mill Creek has some amazing stuff like that.
There are also box books. I think that's what they're called, where you can actually play a book. Box books. They're big. Like I said, I've heard of them. I haven't actually played with them. I've seen them, but that's also another option where you can have it played for you. So, and they come in all levels too.
I will say, if you're trying to learn Spanish alongside your kid, they're probably not going to want to talk to you in Spanish. They'll talk to everyone else but you, because when my kids were going through French, we wanted to hear them speak French so bad, and it was like, ugh, they would not do it for us. So at our parent-teacher conferences, we make them speak to you, to their teacher, so you'll get to hear them there, and it's kind of cool. But another thing, as they get maybe a little older, you can try it. What I'm doing with my family right now is on Duolingo, there's actually a family plan, and we're competing against each other. I have found in elementary, competition is king. Kids will just do about anything to win. So that could be something fun you do as a family if you want to learn it together as well. Any other questions? Yes? Yes, that is true, and that is just to cut administrative costs. That's not the program going away. There was some administration work they were doing that they felt like wasn't needed anymore because the program is really self-sufficient now. And the education piece that they were doing, which was the other half of their job, was just turned over to districts. That's why we have someone like Heidi from the district. So it doesn't mean that the program is in danger at all. It's just a cost-saving measure now that the program's been around a while, and we're going to pick up the slack for any of the non-administrative things they were doing.
We're actually really excited.
Because we get to customize more for what we specifically need versus the state trying to create some sort of professional development for every teacher in the state. We can just do our own thing here with what they need. Yes?
I've heard you mention a couple of times that it's not a gifted program.
Yes?
What things have you learned through the years, and are you doing as an administration and as teachers to help the kids realize that they're not gifted just because they're in the program, and they're working to integrate and be inclusive of the whole?
Yeah, great question. I didn't want to go into it too much today because it's very complicated at first. It's not as complicated as it sounds, but when I try to explain it, we do what's called a 3-teacher model. This is one of the things, we do many, instead of a 2-teacher model. The original recommendation from the state was you have 2 teachers that partner. One teaches Spanish all day and one teaches English. And they have, going back to how we had those 32 kids, 2 classes. So one would have 32 kids and they would teach English, and then those kids would go after lunch to the Spanish teacher and they'd stay together and learn Spanish. And they just flip-flopped, okay? We do a 3-teacher model where when they're not learning Spanish, all of our other kids who are not in the Spanish program are integrated with them, so they learn English and whatever subjects are not Spanish together. So there are some of them, and we can't logistically make this work for the whole school all day long. So some of them do stay with the same cohort, but a lot of them have 2 different groups of kids. They have a group of kids that aren't learning Spanish and kids that are. And so that helps because it kind of creates like a, oh, it's not an I'm better than you sort of situation. When we do have things like Dia de los Muertos, everyone's invited. When we sing at Christmas time, everyone, regardless of if they're in Spanish or not, sings one song in English and one song in Spanish kind of thing. So I'm sure there's others, but those are ones that are just on top of the head. Yeah? Yes, please. Emily is our PTA president, by the way, so what she's about to say probably holds a lot of weight. Come up to the mic. Want to come up? And the PTA is so critical in helping us with this because we recognize that, and I was not here 18 years ago, but at first there was a real distinction between those in Spanish and those not, and we've worked really hard to try and break down those barriers.
All I was going to say is with my older kids, I have one in 7th and one in 5th. This is his last year. But as they've done more, Mr. Bottom has been a couple years here, but he has really amplified the other like extracurricular activities. And so, like my son is in PSN, the news station, and student council, and that's everybody. So I think that's him participating in some chess club. The play is a big thing. I think if your kid gets involved with other activities, that's a place where then all the kids really come together in those situations. I think that's where it really equalizes too. And so the more that your kid gets involved in other things, the more likely they're gonna meet and hang out with kids who are not in the program. And my junior high schooler, it doesn't even matter at that point anymore. I've noticed that the last 2 years that it doesn't, some of her friends are still from Penn, and there are kids that she's been in the program the whole time, but some are not. So I think in the elementary school it's a little bit of a bigger difference, but encouraging your kids to do other things I think really helps make that just a thing that's not even in their minds either. I don't think the kids think about it necessarily even as much as I was nervous about that too, but they're better at that.
And thank you so much, Emily, for coming up here. And thank you for your work this year as PTA president. She deserves a standing ovation. Anyway, you're right about the junior high thing, right? Because you're going to these separate classes, you're only with the Spanish kids for just a little part of your day. So it's just like one of your classes, right? You're taking this class, I'm taking that class, I'm taking wood shop, I'm taking that. But in the elementary, it's harder. So that's why we try to integrate more. One thing we're doing next year that we haven't done before, we have 5, we normally have 4, but we're adding one, what we call special classes. PE, library, dance, STEM, science, technology, engineering, art, and math, and a new one, music. And what we've traditionally done is if the teacher, if it's her time to go to say dance, whoever kids she has at that moment, she just takes a dance, so the kids stay together. What we're doing next year is the entire grade's going to one of those classes at the same time, but the teachers aren't taking them anymore. We're just taking all the kids and creating 4 brand new classes that does not exist throughout the day. We've got red, yellow, green, and blue class, and mixing everyone up. Some kids will have, that'll be the 1 hour of the day, they'll meet kids they've never met before, and they'll go to their special classes with just a whole new group of completely integrated all across the grade level.
I'm going to clarify. You asked what do they do with,
You said gifted kids. Would you reiterate your question?
Well, I just heard you mention several times that it's not a gifted program, and just how we, as a school and administrators, making an effort to make sure the kids are all integrated together, not
Okay.
a divide between English and Spanish programs.
Okay, I was gonna say, the kids have no idea if they're gifted or not, because we don't actually ever call them that to them, it's usually to their parents. But yeah, the integration, that's what we do, so, I just was making sure.
I can kind of see what he's saying, like, 'cause with first grade, because our daughter isn't in it, like, they're very much their own class, never, like, who she saw last year in kindergarten, never.
and they do have recess together and lunches and things like that,
Yeah.
so they do see them throughout the day. But
That's not really.
Good.
it depends on the grade level.
No, let me speak to this, because first grade has never done the 3-teacher model.
Yeah.
They've always done the 2-teacher
But
model.
I can see where that.
Yes, and that's where this is coming from,
I want to
100%.
because that
Yeah.
doesn't work.
Yeah, so, and to address that, we are adding the 3-teacher model in the first grade next year. We had traditionally not started the 3-teacher model until 2nd grade, because there was some concern that, gosh, they're brand new to the program, it might be confusing that they're with different kids throughout the day. We don't think that's the case, so, and
It's
you,
harder to have it.
yeah. So actually, there was a survey that went out about whether you wanted to be part of that integration next year or not, but we will be adding that to first grade as well. Yeah, sorry. Did you want to say anything else?
Nope. I'm
Okay.
good.
I was
Okay.
making sure.
Yeah, thank you, that was good, I'm glad you clarified. Okay, other questions? Yes?
Will each student, I know that you're doing the 3-teacher model.
Yes.
Does that mean that our students will have like one primary Spanish teacher and one primary English teacher?
Correct,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, so they're
We
not-
will have, in first grade next year, we will have 2 Spanish teachers and 2 English teachers, and normally we have 1 Spanish teacher and 1 English teacher. It's a little confusing how we're doing it because that new pair that we added to first grade, they also teach a group of 2nd graders. They're never together, first graders, 2nd graders are never together. But that's how we're creating 3 classes, is we've got a pair of teachers that are teaching 1st and 2nd grade Spanish, and they're partnering English and Spanish. Okay, other questions? Yes?
Does it matter if you respond to that email? Is that dictated?
No, it doesn't. No, it was totally optional, completely optional, yeah. It makes it easier, actually. I mean, it's a big puzzle is what it is, right? We want to honor as many of those requests as we can. And so if people are chill about it, and it's like, okay, that's just one less piece of the puzzle that we have to kind of try and figure out. So it's not that we want other requests, we love that. That came across well. Okay, other questions? You guys are lovely. I do not know what's going on next door. They should be done by now. So if there's no other questions, how about did you want to say something? Are you gonna go check on the kids?